Hello and welcome to Of Dice and Nerds. Today I wanted to show you guys how I like to create maps for my fantasy world in Dungeons and Dragons or any sort of fantasy styled tabletop RPG. Now I've seen a lot of videos here on YouTube about people making different maps and such for their fantasy games. So I just wanted to take some time, record a video of me kind of showing you my process on how I do things. Now, I am doing this while recording through my camera, so it may be a little wonky, but I'll try my best, okay? All right, so generally, a lot of people like to say to start with the mountain ranges or stuff along those lines, but I found in my experience, uh, whenever I'm trying to draw one of these maps, I start with the landmass and then go from there. So, taking, you generally want to have an idea about what you want in your world. Like, for example, um, in the world that I'm using for my Dungeons and Dragons campaign here on this channel, um, we have a dwarven capital city up in the north on a mountain range built into the side of it. So I would have mountains drawn up in the north and then kind of work my way down from there. But like I said, I like to start with the landmass. So let's see. Uh, I don't really have a specific way of doing things. I just kind of draw until I feel like it looks like a landmass, and then I go from there. So let's see here. We'll start from the top and we'll go down. I just kind of want to keep it a little jagged, make it look almost like a coastline. You don't want to make it too jagged, or it kind of takes from the feel of how your players will see it. Okay, maybe we'll dip in here into a peninsula. All right. Now this is small compared to the ones that I normally do, but this is just for a demonstration, so it doesn't have to be perfect, right? So there you go. There is the landmass for your country, for your continent, whichever you're trying to do. Um, Now, that's not going to be enough. So I like to say go into these little dips here or here, maybe over here somewhere, and I'll add islands all the way through it or around it to make it look more realistic. So let's see. Uh, I'll go here, add kind of a big landmass there, some small ones here, kind of like they sort of broke off. We can do a big one here. All right. A landmass here. Now, like along with the lines as you're drawing the continent, you don't want to overdo the islands either. So, kind of keep it to a minimum, but do enough to make it look at least feasible, right? So, after that, I like to kind of go around the continent and around the islands and put little lines around it to make it look like it's touching water. So, for example, do kind of like this around the continent. Kind of gives it that I'm drifting in the water feel. To show your players that it is the coastline that they are looking at here. So I'll do that all the way around the continent, right? So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we will continue. Now, I don't have a way to speed this up, so I will do it as quickly as I possibly can, and then we will move on because we don't want to take too much time here. It's not the most important part of the map. So let's see here. Just do a quick few little lines here. Now, I would normally go back, add a little more detail through here. Put some extra lines around the islands here, make them feel like they're truly suspended. But right now, I'm just trying to get it done as quickly as I can so we can move on. All right. Almost there. Now, after I'll do the landmass and add in a few islands here and there, I like to put the ridges for my mountain ranges, right? So I've seen multiple different ways to do it. One way would be like a triangle, along with another triangle here and there, kind of like that. And then you're going to kind of shade one side of it, kind of make it look a little 3D all the way through there. But I don't really prefer doing it that way. I like to kind of start by drawing a little line like so, kind of going down and around, and then drawing these little lines here to make it kind of look a little more 3D. Now, it doesn't really matter how you do it, just as long as your players can tell that it is a mountain range. But I have found that this is my more preferred method for making mountains. So let's finish up the water here, and then we will continue. Now I'm going to use the Dwarven capital as an example when I'm making my cities. So I'm going to add a mountain range to the north, and then from there we will kind of flesh it out or fill it out, whatever. So let's see here. We're going to do a range through here. Okay, kind of go around through here. All right. So add the mountain tops. All right. Now, whenever I make a city, depending on the size of it, it'll change how I make it look on the overmap or in the overworld map. So the individual city maps will have a little more detail to it, but I generally like to add like a little bit of lines down here on the bottom around it, kind of showing that it's got a base. Sometimes I'll go around the side here, around the top, just to kind of show that it has some sort of base, right? Okay, so now that I've done that, we're going to go here, and for a capital city, I generally like to do a large rectangle followed by a series of smaller squares, and then I'll put a flag on the top, right? So that'll be a capital. And then along the area in front of the capital, for taking a reference from the world that I made earlier, I'll put smaller settlements around here, maybe here and here. Okay, so that'll be just smaller towns kind of connecting to the capital. You're going to want to draw trade routes. There are multiple different ways to do that as well. I like to do solid lines, but generally those are saved for rivers. So I'm going to do kind of a dashed line across each one to show where they're connected. So we'll do it here, show that that one connects there. Here, maybe here, kind of have a little circuit going on. And we'll do one through here, connecting all of these together, kind of like a kite. And we'll do a last little city there, right? So that up here will kind of be the Dwarven settlement, right? After that, you're kind of going to want to add like water masses. So say we'll put one here with a river heading to it. River here. Maybe we have a forest here. Now with forest, there are also multiple different ways to do it, right? So I generally like to do it where I draw a little squiggly line around the area I want the forest to be in, and then I'll draw two little lumps in it to show treetops. But there are other ways to do it. I'll draw it over here where I put the mountains. One way that I've seen people do it is draw little circles everywhere. And every few circles put a triangle. Right? And then where the edge of the forest is showing, they'll put little stems. Right? So that's one way to do it, which I do like. It takes a lot of time. And when I'm in a hurry, I like to do it this way. So that's what we're going to do it for this video. Now for water, generally I'll just kind of put little lines in it like this to show that it's water. So we're going to put some more forests around the water. Okay, like so. Now it doesn't really matter how you make your forests. Just as long as it works in your game. You don't have to have forests. You don't have to have mountains. Just do whatever you think feels best. Okay. So we have forests here around this water mass. Forest down here. We're going to do little grasslands through here, right? So you'll have, how I like to do it, kind of like little grass here to show that these are flat lands. And then down here towards the base, we can show that it's kind of starting to turn into a sandy area. So we can put, like, I like to do little dots all the way through it to show that this is sand. All right. All through that peninsula into here. All right. And we can put a mountain ridge around the edge of it here. Right? Kind of separating the grasslands from the desert lands. From the bad lands. All right? Okay. Maybe one down here as well. Alright, so we can put a city here. We can put a city here. Right? We can put a city here. Just a smaller one, right? Some holds here. Here, right? Here. Here. Maybe a little stronghold here. Another city here, right? Then you can just draw your trade routes between everything. So we can do a line down through here, kind of connecting to the city here. An off-road going here, right? Just kind of connect all of these there. Alright, then we can do one here. Kind of have all three connected in a way. A little side road that connects there. Then we can have a little town here and here to connect this one to the stronghold. All right, so there we go. I'll pull it a little closer. So this is an example of a fantasy world. You can call it whatever you want, put as many cities as you want, as many forests, do whatever you think is best. So I may end up using this in a campaign at some point in the future. I don't know, but thanks for watching. I hope you liked the video. I hope it informed you into the art of designing your own world. Make sure you hit a like and subscribe to my channel and hit that little bell icon to keep up on the content as I post it. This is of Dyson Nerds, and I'll see you later. Thanks.